Hey, everybody, it is Larry Sharp here for a very special, by the way, a very special Libertarians Drinking Coffee Up. I have not done one of these in months because of my own campaign going nuts all over the place, as you guys know, busting my rump. But I was talking to my friend who some of you know from out of Indiana, Washington County, Tommy Brown. He was talking about a lot of local issues that I deal with, problems I've been talking about. And I thought now might be the time to kind of bring him aboard. He is running the man himself, Tommy Brown, not regular Tommy Brown, but Tommy Brown the third. That's the cool Tommy Brown, right? That one. He is actually running for county commissioner in Washington County. I'm gonna bring him aboard right now. Tommy, how are you, sir?
Well, Larry, I tell you what, I'm starting to wear down a little bit. This fight is getting real and it's getting serious very quickly, buddy.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because so many people don't realize how hard it is to actually fight the system. Whether you're fighting the system at the national level, the state level, the local level, it's hard to fight the system. They make it to where most people will quit because they don't have the fortitude to keep going. And when guys like you and I just don't stop and keep going, it often shocks them. They're like, wait a minute, will this Tommy guy just go away already? And he doesn't go away. And people just, they can't believe it. And then other people then look at you and go, why isn't Tommy quitting? He keeps going. And I think guys like you, which is why I keep bringing you on, is because you inspire others to just keep going, even though the system attacks you. And let me bring up an issue, not just talk about how cool I think you are. Let me bring up an issue. And the issue is local bullying. I bring this up all the time, right? The idea of you want a state government that its job, more than anything else, is to stop the local bullies from taking away people's rights or enforcing their will all the time. Sadly, most of the time, the local bullies are agents of the state. So they're in the same, pocket. So nothing's changed. You are dealing with that right now, local bullies. Tell me what's going on in Washington County in Indiana.
Well, before I get into that, Larry, I want to recognize the other three people in my party that are running for office.
Please.
Rhonda Green is our chairman. She's running for county council.
Great.
Her husband, Max Green, is running for Washington County Sheriff.
Love that.
And Mr. David Norton, he is also running for county council. So we've got four viable, very good candidates with all four of us working. And the cool thing is, Larry, we're all working together. And that makes it so much easier when you've got other people with you. So
absolutely.
What is going on locally?
Hold on. Now you gave me something else I got to talk about real fast. This is what I mean, guys. We have people running. People say all the time, you libertarians, we're the third largest party in the nation, and we are running in all the states. We're running all over. And Tommy Brown is showing you this. Just in his county, 4 viable candidates. Thank you, Tommy. Keep going.
So a couple months ago, our county commissioners, I'm going to focus on the guy I'm running against. We had the American Renewal Project money dropped in our lap.
Okay.
My opponent decided that project was too big for just the commissioners and the council to take on. So without doing any public interviews, without doing any kind of research or anything, they plucked 5 of their buddies out of the thin air.
Yep.
And formed this art board to decide, where all this money goes.
So they made a board so it seems fair, but on the board, it's all their friends.
Exactly.
Yes.
I like what he called it. He calls them pillars of the community.
Look at that. Pillars. I like that.
Well, so I sent you a clip of the ending of the commissioner art board meeting. Mm-hmm. My opponent bullied a fellow elected official when all she asked for was a written list of where the money was going.
Oh, well, you can't have that, Tommy.
He bullied her.
Absolutely. You know what? Let me see if I can get that clip. Let me pull it up real fast so you can see what we're talking about. I have it. It was on. It's actually on YouTube.
Yes, it is.
Hold on. There's a chunk of it right here. There's a little piece of it.
So this last minute stuff, we're expected to suffer and wait because of some others' inability to plan.
Last minute stuff.
I believe there's a motion on the floor. We need to vote. He made the motion. I
Yeah.
second. It's time to vote.
So he wants to vote.
Thank you.
So what I get from this is he is saying, if I heard this right, and you tell me if I'm wrong on this one, Tommy, what he's saying is, well, now we have to wait because you want some stuff that I don't want to give you. Is that right?
No, that's not what he's saying.
What's he saying?
He basically accused her of not trusting himself, the other two commissioners, and the art board to proceed forward with this money. And Larry, all she asked for was a printed document in writing where this money was going.
Got it. So she was supposed to trust him and his cronies blindly with the money.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Or at least that's what comes across. I know that clip's kind of long.
It is. That's 4 minutes long. If you guys want to check it out, it's literally on Rhonda Green's YouTube page, and that's Green with an E, Greene, Rhonda Green. It's on her YouTube page.
But no, he when he done that, I'm like, are you kidding me? He done that in a public meeting.
Yep.
And what really throws me to the wolves is earlier in that clip, he made the comment that this money is earmarked for projects and groups. And what threw me off was he said that they had been meeting, the art board had been meeting since I think May or June. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, gee, Todd, probably because nobody showed up because you didn't advertise it.
Well, this is a point I want to bring up too. And the reason why I love this, and for some of you may be saying, Larry, is this a little bit too granular? No, this is where all the money and the corruption goes, right? They say the federal government says, here's cash. The state government says, here's cash. And now local people take the cash and help out their friends. That's the piece that's actually happening. And you're saying, which is what I keep talking about, which is local libertarians need to be here, right? What was that joke you told me about? What would you say? How do you get a local? Tell me the joke.
So there was a, and we'll get into this in a minute. There was an ordinance tried to get passed by the city council. My chairman's husband, Max Green, is running for sheriff here in Washington County. Mm-hmm. And there's a joke between the three of us of how do you get the Indiana governor and the Indiana state attorney general to follow the law to the letter? Use libertarian candidate for sheriff in Washington County.
There we go. Yes, you have just proven the point that I've made so many times, which is libertarians are the actual referees. We are the actual sheriffs, right? We're the ones who are saying, are you actually spending the money right? Should you even be spending that money? Where'd you get that money from, right? Where is it going? Is there another way of doing it? Are you following the law? Are you giving money to your friends? We're the only ones who are saying that. Democrats, Republicans are both scamming the system and grifting, so they kind of turned a blind eye to each other as long as each one of them gets their cut. Am I wrong here?
No, you're absolutely right. I know Rhonda has said before that my opponent does not like to hear the word corruption in meetings. Well, I'm sorry, Todd. You're practicing corruption, my friend.
So tell me specifically about this ordinance that you talked about.
Okay.
Tell me about this.
So the city of Salem's city council, well, actually it was the city attorney. They felt like that there was a handful of properties that just they couldn't get reined in, they couldn't get cleaned up, so on and so forth. They wrote a 28-page ordinance basically stating that your trash cans had to be behind your house. You can't have chip paint. You can't have holes in your screen. The caulking around your window has to be just so. The windows have to stay open on their own, that you can't have a stick holding them up. Well, lo and behold,
wow. I'm actually blown away by how detailed that is. Wow. They really care about your house, don't they? Wow. Okay.
So the local Libertarian Party, Rhonda, myself, Max, David, we all kind of banded together and this is the beautiful part about this, Larry. Washington County is a Republican controlled county.
Mhm.
Pretty much everybody is a Republican, so to speak, in Washington County.
At least
There
by
was
label.
people- yeah, by label, everybody's pretty much Republican.
Got it.
So the beautiful thing is people from different parties started banding together. Well, I started going to the city council meetings, and I had a one-on-one meeting with the mayor. I
Mhm.
like Justin Green. He's an all right guy. I went to school with him. And I told him, I was like, Justin, I said, look, I said, I'm not here to attack you. I'm here to be that libertarian voice that says, hey, look, wait a minute. Are you sure this is legal?
Yes.
Well, we've had 3 or 4 meetings. My brother in the Libertarian Party, Max Green, he started digging into the Indiana state codes on
Mhm.
zoning boards and everything. And Max was feeding that information to me when I would go to these meetings, and I'd be like, look, guys, you're violating state code. Well, we don't think that triggers in this case. No, guys, it triggers. You didn't take it through the zoning board. You can't just bring this ordinance on board because you are dealing with zoning because it covers residential.
Yeah.
There was just a whole line of just inconsistency and legalities.
And I think what you're bringing up here also is, in a way, and I don't mean to be mean to us as Americans, but in a way, this is our fault in that we've let it go for so long that so many of these local people think, I don't have to follow the rules because no one's ever checking me, so I'll just do whatever I want. And I think we found this also with school boards, right? Before the COVID lockdowns, very rare did people actually go to school board meetings. Nobody really cared. They let the teachers and the administrators do whatever they want. And all of a sudden, when now the kids are going home and the parents are looking at what's happening, they're going, wait a minute. What's happening here? And now they start showing up, and now the school board members are mad. They're saying, wait a minute, you've been letting me scam for 30 years. Now you're going to hold me accountable? And I think in places all over the country, but obviously in your case specifically, you've got people who no one's been holding them accountable. So now you're mad. Wait a minute, what's going on? They feel almost like you're attacking them.
And you're very right. And so this went on back and forth. Well, my Libertarian Party chair, she decides, we need some help. Rhonda spent a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I commend her for it. I've helped her through this. With the help of David Norton and her husband Max and myself, Rhonda sent emails to the state attorney general, Todd Rokita,
Yep,
Governor Eric Holcomb, representatives, state senators. I mean, you name it, the high level state people were notified.
And this is what activism is about. This is what libertarian activism is about, Tommy. You're exactly correct. Local people getting stuff done. Thank you. I'm sorry, keep going. I'm loving it so much I want to comment because I love it so much. So please keep going.
That's fine. So when we first sent it to the Secretary General, Todd Rokita, he scoffed at it and said, well, not my problem. Send it to the Board of Accounts. Well, okay, I'm sorry. The Board of Accounts is not going to do nothing when it pertains to zoning. Washington County and the city of Salem have had a total of 5 audits, 3 federal, 2 state, performed on them because they can't account for their money.
Got it.
Didn't
you tell me that your county of like 20 or 30,000 people, is that right?
Yeah.
Has like $16 million in debt?
Yeah, $16 million in bond debt.
I remember that. Yes.
Right. That was incurred because they had to build a new jail because they haven't figured out that, hey, drug court, house arrest, and rehabilitation works better than jail and fine.
Yes. Yeah. But then how can you raise $16 million in debt to give to your friends? See, that's the problem.
There you go.
That's the problem. Yes.
The ordinance, evidently, we had a state rep, Jay Davison. His dad was Steve Davison, who was state representative for this county for years. I looked up to Steve. Steve was he was a really good guy. he ran a pharmacy here in town for years, and Steve would bend over backwards for you.
Yeah.
Well, so the other day, Rhonda sent me the same article I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Davison had spoke up, and next thing you know, Mayor Justin Green's putting out a statement that at a special city council meeting, August 30th, which is today,
Mm-hmm.
he is going to ask the common city council to dissolve this ordinance and return everything as it was. So, first
That's
off,
a victory.
that's a huge victory.
Yes.
First off, right off the bat, I want to applaud the people of the city of Salem. They rallied, they fought the injustice, and they won.
There we go.
That's a huge step toward liberty and freedom.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, Larry. Nobody could have done this by themselves. This
100%.
was totally a group effort.
Yep.
The Libertarian Party, we stepped up, we stood behind them. What kind of really infuriates me, though, is my opponent, who is District 2, covers the city of Salem. It goes right up the middle of Washington County. So, honestly, these were his people that were being done wrong.
Mm-hmm. He didn't care.
He never showed up for a city council meeting. He never stood with them. The only person that stood with them that is running for commissioner was yours truly. I've stood by these people. I fought with these people, and it's like, well, you play in your sandbox, I'll play in mine.
Let me touch this piece too, because people have often heard me say this and thought I was joking. I said, I've gone around New York State, many local politicians. I met many of them. And some of them, more than I thought, to your point, don't care about their constituents at all. They're in power, and they think the people that they're supposed to support or supposed to represent, they're a pain. They're a nuisance. They get in the way. I've got money to make. I got stuff to do. Why are you peasants in my way is how they often feel. And I'm surprised how often that is. And you tell me the story does not shock me, right? I've met many people like that who just, do I have to talk to people again? They don't want to talk to the people at all. And one of the reasons why people are follow me when I'm out running around is because I talk to people, and their politicians don't. Exactly to your point, they don't.
But Larry, here's the thing: it's in the founding documents. You have to be a representative of the people, and I'm sorry, we the people are still the boss of the government.
Absolutely.
And my opponent, he has done this time and time again. He has stated in public meetings, we don't want dialogue with you.
Yep.
Then why are you in office, sir?
Yes, go start a business and sit in your office someplace and ignore everybody. It's fine. Do that. No worries. I agree. You're in the wrong job if you think that. You're in the wrong job.
There is so much, Larry, that we could get into right now on this.
But I want to go to one step. One of the reasons why I'm so glad we're talking today is, obviously I'm running too, right? And one of the reasons why I'm running is so we can have Libertarian Party as an actual party, recognized party in New York State. In 2018, when I made that happen, in 2019, we had 107 local victories. We had 107 people in local areas who could make actual change, who could actually fight at the local level and make ground up change. Obviously, I hope I become governor. Obviously, I want to win. Of course I do, 100%. However, the reality of it is, if I don't actually win this thing, but I get party status, I'm going to have hundreds of local heroes doing the things like you're doing, stopping the ordinances, stopping the bullying, doing what we do in New York State, the least free state in the world. I know you got your problems in Indiana, but I think I got you beat when it comes to problems, Tommy. Just saying.
Oh, yeah. Look, I will take my problems over your problems any day of the week.
There we go.
Twice on Sunday.
There we go. Absolutely.
The other point I wanted to make in this whole thing is when I met with the mayor of Salem one-on-one, this has been several months ago, Justin confided in me that he has sent invite after invite to my opponent to attend city council meetings because it shows continuity of government. It shows a willingness to work together.
Yep, absolutely.
the answer he gets is what I said a minute ago. You play in your sandbox, I'll play in mine. Larry, I'm sorry. Call me an idiot, call me stupid, call me delusional. But when you've got a division between two different levels of government, what does that say to the people?
Yeah.
What, how are they supposed to trust government?
Oh, you can have a division. I get a division, maybe you're bad, right? I don't want division. You can have disagreement. How about that? It's better. You can have disagreement, but you should still be able to communicate, be in the same room, have conversations, but when it's the point where I'm not going to talk to you, I mean, you're right. It's a horrible thing. You don't have to be lockstep, but you still got to be thinking about the people, right?
Well, exactly. And this is what drives me crazy in this county. And I don't know why people want to do this, but really, and it goes for your state too. I mean, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I'm just making a valid statement here. Why do we keep rewarding bad behavior with new terms?
Yep.
Why are we doing this?
Yep. Agreed.
Why does it continue to have to be like this? I was talking to a supporter the other day and I told him straight up, I was like, I got a question for you. And Larry, you can use this question as well. The question was this: what are you going to do when the people you keep passing over are no longer on the ballot and they're no longer fighting?
Yes.
What are you going to do?
Yep. When the people finally just stop fighting. You're right. Yes.
This guy and his wife looked at me and they're like, oh, that'll never happen. I was like, all right. I said, I tell you what. I was like, let's make it more personal. And his wife's like, okay. I was like, I don't care to be the butt of my own joke. I said, let's use me for an example. I said, what are you going to do one day when you look around and Tommy threw his hands up, walked away, and I'm doing what I want to do when I want to do it, and I'm not running for office no more.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them looked at each other and they're like, you know what? We got to get you elected.
I like that.
I'm like, you know what? I said, okay. I was like, now you're getting it. I was like, guys, the clock is ticking.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. And I'm going to and real quick here, I'm going to put a plug out there to the people in New York for you. New York, if you want change, you better elect Larry now because the clock is ticking. One of these days, he's going to find something else to do. Another opportunity is going to come along.
I'm coming out to Indiana, hang out with you, Tommy.
Come on, brother, we can use you. But no, seriously, the clock is ticking on all of us.
Sure.
I have a deep desire to be an activist and a libertarian spokesman for the city of Salem. That's not it. That, and a lot of that hinges on what happens in November.
Sure.
But
Tommy, let me grab some comments. I got people commenting. I want to get some comments up if I could.
Awesome.
Phil says, I forgot what it was like to sit in my grandfather's lap in a rocking chair. There we go. That's you. Yes.
Thanks, Phil.
He says that I love it. It's very real. And he's right. What you're talking about, Tommy, people locally get it. It's actually real. What you're saying is the kind of thing that people get. You're totally right. Yes.
Thanks, Phil. I appreciate that.
Craig says these boards always do this. There we go. Exactly. He's going to tell you what you just said. Mayor of Utica and county execs spend all their time scheming to get money from above and hand it to cronies. Yes, and Utica, if you don't know, Tommy, is a city in central New York. So it's very similar.
Yep, I know exactly where Utica is.
Yep, there we go. Absolutely. Paula says, love your Facebook page, Tommy, so you have a fan here.
Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. Paula is actually in my campaign group.
Oh, is that right? Oh, that's
Paula
great.
She is very active in my campaign group, and I tell you what, I love Paula's support. She's always very positive. I love having her around. It's very refreshing.
There we go. Dave says politicians don't want to have dialogue with the great unwashed masses, as he does in quotes. They might have to make tough and unpopular decisions. Dave, yes, and there's a second piece of this. They might have to make tough decisions, but they also might have to sacrifice something, right? And that's also, they don't want to do that either. I think you're right. Tommy, what do you think about this?
Larry, I'm going to add something to what Dave said. If you'll bring that comment back up.
Oh, please. Absolutely. Go ahead. Yep.
they may have to make tough decisions, but if those tough decisions are made only after talking to their constituents face to face, actually canvassing neighborhoods,
Yep.
those tough decisions won't impact people negatively. Unfortunately, our elected officials have forgot what it means to go out and actually talk to people.
Yes.
Oh no, we can't associate with these dirty people over here. That might spoil our plans.
That's true. Yes, you're right. Absolutely. We have another fan. Patty says, Tommy, second time I'm hearing your story and I'm infuriated still. I think you and I could talk for hours in agreement. Oh, well, she likes you. There we go. Good. I wish I lived closer to you. We cause good trouble for them together. So you have some fans here in New York, Tommy.
Actually, Patty has been on. I think she's been on the campaign group as well.
Oh, nice.
I tell you what, Larry, I have got a lot of support in your neck of the woods. There's a lot of people from New York that follow me and hang close to me, and that means a lot. I know a friend of mine was joking. He goes, "If you ever run for president, man," he goes, "you're going to carry New York." I'm like, "Nah, I don't know about that."
I like that. I like that. It's good. The sanguine Sophrosine. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I love the rocking chair back and forth. Yes. Oh, you're winning. They like the rocking chair. It's working. It's good. Shelley says, because duopoly has gotten rid of any competition, despite members of duopoly wanting third-party access to the ballot. Oh, yes. Shelley is saying that they do what they want because there's no competition. I think she's totally right.
Well, exactly. And let me add something to that too. The zoning boards that I was talking about. Here in Indiana, you do not have to declare a party. All right. You don't have to go to the clerk's office and say, "Hey, I am this." What they do is they use the primary election by what ballot you pulled.
Oh,
okay. So all of these county boards, the zoning boards, even the city zoning board, they're all illegal right now because what happened is all the Democrats went to the polls in the primary, pulled Republican ballots because the former Democrat sheriff switched to Republican. So now, according to state law, you can't have more than 3 of any one party on a board. They've got a board full of Republicans.
Wow.
And do you know what their excuse is for this?
I gotta hear this.
We can't find nobody to be on these boards. And my libertarian chairman, Rhonda, sits in these county government meetings filming these, and all they would have to do would be like, "Hey, Rhonda, is there anybody in your party that wants to sit on this board?" But yet their excuse is, Larry, they can't find nobody.
Absolutely.
Not looking too hard, are you?
Yes, not looking at all. How about that? Not looking at all. So yes.
No.
Yes. So anyway, I pronounced it correctly. Sanguine says I pronounced it. See, I'm being good. I pronounced it right. Well done. I love that. So Michael says the problem that political third parties face is the combination of financial caps being kicked off the ballot and propaganda. Yes, financial caps kicked off the ballot and propaganda. Exactly. Meanwhile, the Dems Republicans behave exactly the way you and Tommy mentioned, Larry. Yeah, and this is the point, right? If Tommy gets elected, now he gets a voice. And that's the thing they're scared of more than anything else, right? Because now Tommy gets to say, wait a minute, what about this? What about this? What about that? What about this? That's going to change a whole lot. I completely agree. So they'd rather either try to handicap him financially if they can, or if possible, propaganda. So, he's the crazy libertarian, don't listen to Tommy, right? That's the other one. Or just throw him off the ballot. Whatever they could do, they would try. I agree. In New York, we throw off the ballot. But we try to do any of those things. Absolutely.
But unfortunately, Larry, down here, we don't have 3 parties down here, technically. Yeah. Technically, we have a Libertarian Party and a Republican supermajority.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Well, in New York, it's almost the reverse, right? It's heavily, it's a Democratic supermajority. And I guess the Republicans kind of exist. Kind of. I mean, kind of.
Okay. Kind of exist.
Yes, kind of. I mean, they're here, I guess. But I mean, don't really do anything. But yes, that's what we have here. So I agree. So Tommy, let me ask, before we wrap this up, is there something that you want to bring up, something that I missed, something that's critical? What should we be wrapping this up with?
Well, I'm going to end it with this. The only thing that I can tell people right now that will help me more than anything is like, share, comment, and elect Larry Sharp for New York governor. There
I
is
appreciate
nothing
that.
there is nothing that I would enjoy more than to call you on election night and to have us both say we won.
That'd be
Uh,
amazing.
you know, I really feel like change is coming.
I do too.
The,
I actually do
the,
too. Yes.
the people here in Washington County, I think this ordinance in Salem really got people stirred, and the Washington County Libertarian Party is now on the conversation. Uh, Unfortunately, we have straight ticket voting here in Indiana, and it
Yes.
murders third party candidates.
For
I'm
those of
telling
you who don't
people,
know, hold on, be clear. New Yorkers know what that is. Straight ticket voting, for you people who don't have that in your state, like New York, they don't have it, which is a good thing, by the way, not having it, is someone can just click the party and then they automatically vote for everybody in the party, called straight ticket voting. So you just click Republican, all Republican candidates. Click Democrat,
right?
all Democratic candidates. That means you don't even bother looking for a third party candidate. Why bother? I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican. Click the button, done. So
Yeah.
we don't have that in New York. I hope we never get that, but that's an issue you have in Indiana. Yes.
Yeah, it is. And the thing I tell people is look, at the federal level, even somewhat in the state level, if you want to hold your party line, hold it. But here in Indiana, when it comes to county and city races, throw the parties out the window and vote for
Yes.
the person that stood beside you, because
Absolutely.
otherwise you're just rewarding bad behavior with
100%.
new terms.
Yep. 100%. I keep saying local matters, and people don't, we're worried about who's going to be the president. That matters, but locally, the person locally is going to hurt you or help you far more than whoever our president is. I completely agree. Completely.
You're exactly right. And the local elected officials need to learn how to use the amendments in the Constitution to help them. The 10th Amendment is a great force against the federal government. They can't violate the 10th Amendment.
But only if we actually care, Tommy. You're right. But we got to care, and we often don't.
There you go. You're exactly right, Larry.
Absolutely. Tommy, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. I haven't done this in a while. I'll do more, I promise, particularly after my election. I will do more of these again. You guys love when I bring on candidates. I'll keep doing more and more as time goes on. I will see you all very soon. Thank you, Tommy.